guys, welcome back to the Smart Woman Show, empowering women to lead in their business and their life. And we have Lauren Tickner here today. And I'm so excited for you to be here because sometimes I go off on tangents about like the soul and the heart. And we get, we like cry on the show. But what's so cool about having Lauren here is that she's actually going to teach you tangible things to create in your business today as far as your marketing and branding goes. Now, your actual, your Instagram is Lauren Tickner, right? Wait, I want to make sure I have this. Lauren, first, while I'm looking this up, tell us, what do you do and who do you do it for?
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you so much for having me on today. I'm super excited to be here. So my whole thing is I help people, whether they're men or women, anyone who wants to build a personal brand-based online business, so a service-based online business, I help them build that business and I help them scale it. So I am literally all about all things personal brand-based online business. So that can include things such as content creation and social media, all the way to networking and collaborating with other influencers in your space, and also creating a program that's scalable and that you can sell to the masses. So that's what I'm all about. And yeah, it's awesome to be here today.
It's so good to have you here. So, okay, so Lauren is actually the boss at this. I mean, she's made a massive business. So when you're looking at and you're watching this interview and you're thinking about like who's on the top of creating mentorships programs in the social media space, in the brand packaging space, like you have her. She's right here on this show. So I really want to dig in to I want to start with overwhelm, because we'll start at the bottom and then we'll go to the top, because a lot of these women they've either just started businesses or they're scaling their businesses or they're coaches or they're running MLM companies. And here's the deal. It's overwhelming learning about the following. And you know this already. So I'm just, kind of giving some context. It's overwhelming learning about what platforms to use, what social media platforms to dive into. It's overwhelming learning about content creation, branding. Do I get professional photographs? So I really want to dive into like narrowing it down to, okay, let's package this up in the must-dos. So what is a must-do?
Yeah. It's such a funny question because I swear, like, one of the biggest things that people say is, oh my gosh, who should I get to make my logo for me? Or, oh, what brand color should I use? Honestly, like, I'm not being funny. I don't even have a logo for my name. Like, I don't have one. I mean, yeah, for sure. I've started using the color purple. And honestly, the reason why I use the color purple is because my brother's epileptic and the color for epilepsy is purple, right? So I thought I'd use that color. So anyway, seriously, like, these things don't matter. Like, I'm telling you right now, you can take selfies in the mirror if you want to, but what matters is your message and what matters is your story. But before all of that, before you get into that, the one thing that you need to suss and absolutely nail is what is your niche, right? So once you figure out what your niche is, and like, I know in the States you guys say niche, so like, what is your niche? It sounds so funny when I say it. Like, what is your niche? So you need to figure that out. So perhaps a great example is like, I started my very first business when I was the age of 19 years old or 18 years old, and my industry was fitness. Okay, that was the industry, but the niche that I was focusing on was becoming stronger, both physically and mentally. And then within that niche, you can pick a sub niche. So my sub niche was helping women who were aged 18 or probably like age 16 to 25, becoming stronger, both physically and mentally. And then within that, you need to pick like an ideal client. Okay, so you have to really narrow down. You start off broad. So you start off figuring out what is the industry that I'm going to select. So maybe your industry that you might select is online business. Okay, when you select online business, what niche when it comes to online business are you going to go for? Okay, let's say you go for coaching. All right, so when it comes to coaching, like, well, what are you going to do? Are you going to be helping coaches build their business? Are you going to be the coach?
There's a million coaches. There's a million.
Right, exactly. So yeah. It's so important to make sure that you have your ideal client nailed, because then when you have your ideal client nailed, you literally know which parts of my story and messaging are going to be actually relevant for these ideal clients. Like, so let's just say you were going for those university students who want to become stronger both physically and mentally, like those young girls, let's just say, like how I first started. Well, in that case, I'm going to share stories that connect with those people, that are relatable to those people. And I'm going to also make sure that I use the social media platforms that they're on. So let's be real, like most university students, they don't really necessarily, they don't use Facebook. Like they just don't. It's just not done. They use Instagram, they use Snapchat, they watch YouTube videos. They don't go on LinkedIn all day. They don't necessarily use Twitter that much anymore either. So when you know who your ideal client is, you can then reverse engineer the social media platforms that they're using. And then what you can do is you can make sure that you're on those platforms producing highly valuable and targeted content. So the content needs to help those people overcome a specific problem. And when you can do that, then these people are going to be like, oh my gosh, this person really knows what they're talking about. I'm going to start following her. And so that to me is the absolute fundamental. Like you need to learn how to tell stories that engage your ideal client. So you don't just always want to be sharing value, because like at the end of the day, like there's information everywhere. People want to connect with you on a human level, and they want to know that you know what you're talking about. So just find a way to tie value into education, and you'll be great.
I love that you don't have a logo. I also don't have a logo. I'm like, I don't care. Even
Nice.
my fiance, he's, most people who are watching this, you'll know, and you'll get to know Phil a little bit more. He's twice my age. And so it's a different era. And he's like, how don't you have a logo? And I'm like, babe, I don't need a logo. Like that's a thing of the past. Everything of his is like logoed, right? He's like, can you make me a logo? I'm like, sure, open up Canva. So, but the thing is that like, when we're bringing it down to such a real level, you don't need all the fluff. And one thing that really comes up right now, what you said, is this whole content thing. So finding your niche or your niche. I'm from Canada, so we also say niche. When I came to the US, it was like niche, whatever it is. But, creating content is an animal. It's like, you need to go live. You need to have a blog. You need to have posts that resonate. You need to have YouTube channels. And it's a lot of work. So what I would love to hear from you is how to create content that is reusable.
Yeah. It's so important to do this because it will save you so much time. Now, the cool thing is it's funny because I never really started in realizing that was even possible. I used to think like, oh my gosh, if I don't take a photo on the same day and post the caption just after I've written it, people are going to think I'm inauthentic and it's just not good. I'm going to be fake and all this stuff. I literally thought that for like 4 years. Like I only recently started having proper strategy when it comes to my content. So here's the thing, right? Like the most important thing is you need to basically pick a platform that you can stick to. Now, I think so often, people are like, I need a blog, I need a YouTube, I need a podcast. Like, no, you don't. You literally don't. I really think that you need to have 2 social media platforms. I think that one of them needs to be either video or audio. So for example, a podcast or a YouTube channel. And then I think that the other one can be something like either LinkedIn, Facebook, or Instagram. Again, it really depends where your ideal clients are hanging out. I think that for the majority of people nowadays, Instagram is great because most people are now using Instagram. However, if your ideal client, it turns out that they are a busy professional, then they're probably going to be more likely to be on LinkedIn. And then they're the type of person who'd be good to have a podcast for, because it's much more likely that a busy professional is listening to a podcast than watching a YouTube video, just because it's easier to consume for them because they're busy. They can just listen to a podcast while they're on the go, right?
Yeah.
So I think it just comes down to that. You need one platform, which is either Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn. And then your other platform needs to be a video or audio, which realistically it's going to be YouTube or a podcast. Because the thing is, like, yes, LinkedIn are now rolling out live video, and you can go live on Facebook, and you can use Instagram TV and all that. But they're not searchable. Like you can't search for content and have it come up. So if you type in, like, YouTube is owned by Google, so YouTube is the second biggest search engine in the world. Similarly, when you type a keyword into the podcast app like Spotify or the podcast app that just comes on your phone, like your podcast will probably come up if the title includes that keyword. So that is why using either YouTube or a podcast is going to be so valuable for you. And the cool thing is, like, if let's say you create a video for YouTube or you make a podcast, you can then take snippets from either that YouTube video or that podcast, and then you can post it onto your Instagram TV. And then that Instagram TV, you can post to your Instagram feed. And then you can you could literally hire a VA to create a transcript of your podcast, and then that could then become like multiple different Instagram captions. I personally don't do that, but you can do it if you want. I know people that do it. I know people that it works really well for. I do it for my I take snippets from my podcast and I put it on I have a feed, like an Instagram account for my podcast, and so they're all laid out on there, and it looks really nice. And I have a team member who does all the graphics to make it look pretty and everything.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about that. I don't want to cut you off, but like that is such a big thing. It's like, focus on what you're good at. Like if you suck at graphics in Canva, like hire someone to do it. If you can't build your own website, right? So like, what are some of the things that you hire out for?
Yeah, I think this is so important because like, even I think I first brought on my first like team member who was in a salaried position around 6 or 8 months ago, and I found it really hard to let go of control because like when it came the thing that I first hired for was editing YouTube videos, because like I was like, I love editing my YouTube videos, I'm good at it and I find it fun, and I don't think that someone will be able to do it right. They might show me in the wrong light if I don't edit them myself. And then I'm just like, oh my God, like it is crazy how much it has freed up my life. So now I can focus on the things that I'm good at. And so things that I outsource personally is like editing my videos, making all of my graphics, like web design, running Facebook ads. What other things are there? Yeah, I mean, I edit my own podcast just because like that literally takes me 2 seconds, and it genuinely makes sense because I need to listen to the podcast back so I can record the intro anyway. So like that just makes sense for me to do. But then I basically like export the MP3 file. I upload it to the thing that it's going to get uploaded on, but like I save it as a draft so that my team member could then like create the title and all the show notes and all that stuff. So like as the entrepreneur, like let's be real, like everyone listening to this right now, you are the entrepreneur, you're the visionary. So you need to focus on the things, like literally you need to focus on the things that are going to drive you forward. So for example, I focus on collaborating with other influencers. So like I'm on this podcast with you right now. After this, I'm going to go take a call because I'm trying to arrange a new strategic partnership.
You're going to go take a what?
A phone call. What do you think I said? A poo?
It sounded like you said, I'm going to go take a poo.
Oh my God, that's hilarious. Well, yeah, maybe, but
I love it. I love your accent. You're so cute.
Yeah, so I have a phone call, and like the reason why I have this call is because I need to I'm really focusing on building out strategic partnerships, because I know that partnerships are like one of the fastest way to grow your business.
Yeah, so that's why we're here right now. I mean, this is why this summit exists, to create influence.
Right. Exactly. Because like, here's the thing. I mean, I think it's so easy to want to do everything by yourself because you're like, oh my God, I need to pay this person to do this thing. And it's like really scary to let go and to invest money into your business. But it's the best way to invest, because when you hire a team member, you're literally like doubling yourself. So it means that you can go, we'll start saying it's like, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And I just think it's such a perfect saying. Like, it's so true.
I love that.
Like, if you want to get things done now, bish, bash, bosh, like boom, do it by yourself. But you're going to get burnt out. It's going to drain you. You're going to start resenting your life and your business.
Yeah.
And you'll probably end up back in a job.
I love that you brought this up, actually. And this is the soulful part of me. Because as an entrepreneur, we feel alone a lot of the time. You know, because we're lone rangers, because we know the importance of blinders. And like a lot of times that means that we're on our own because we're driving forward. We have a vision. And usually when we have such a strategic vision in place, and like we're so driven to hammer it home, it doesn't involve anyone else. Like it can't. It just can't. And that's okay. But if that's you right now and you're feeling lonely and you're feeling desperate and you're feeling like, oh my God, I don't even know if I can do this, don't be like how I was. Like I wouldn't even accept support. And now I'm the type of person that's like, hey, who can support me in this? This is what I'm struggling with. So that's just something that I thought of when you were saying that, because that's our personality as entrepreneurs. Like we want to do it alone because we're the only ones, right? It's a control issue.
Oh my God, yes, like it's so true. I am such a control freak, but you're gonna have to let go of some level of control, because otherwise, yeah, I mean, it's funny, like you think you're gonna be the one who can do it to the best degree, but then when you hire someone that is their zone of genius, then you're like, oh my God, they've literally done it 10 times better than me, and it kind of actually like keeps your ego in check. And I think that's so important for entrepreneurs.
I'll never forget when I hired Kelly, who you've been speaking with, who, engaged with you to be on the show. And, I hired her and I sent her a bunch of stuff. I'm like, okay, can you put this up? And she's like, I'd just love to review this and like give you another option if maybe something that you would love. She was so great with me because she knew, right? And I looked at her and at first I was like, well, you can try, like, of course, like you can try to do it better than me. But, and she did. Of course she did. I mean, she knocked it out of the park. She sent it back to me. She's like, so what do you think? I'm like, I'm so glad I hired you. That's what I think. So
yeah, that literally happened to me with one of my team members, Max. Like I made this whole sales page, and I like had a sales video, and I was so proud of it. And it was just me talking to the camera. Like I'd edited it, but it was just like I was proud of like my words. And so don't get me wrong, like my kind of my spoken copy was good, but he like edited it, he added some emotive music, he added all these like animations on the screen, and I was like, yeah, okay, you've got the job.
That's awesome. Control freaks. Okay, so I want there's two different versions. Okay, so like maybe you're at a point in your business where you need to hire out. Maybe you're just starting. So when you're just starting, it is okay to start, doing it all yourself to get yourself going. So let's just kind of go back just for a couple minutes on some of the platforms that are useful to people just starting out. So for example, Canva, right? And then just kind of give us like 5 or 7 or whatever platforms that are must uses. Maybe they're free or whatever that you found useful.
Yeah, so I think that like one of the biggest questions people ask me when it comes to starting out on social media and actually having good content is like, what do I actually post? And oftentimes I think, especially when people are perhaps building a coaching business or something, they don't want to post photos of themselves. Now, here's the thing, when it comes to building a personal brand, you need to post photos of yourself. Often you'll see people post kind of like, I don't know, pictures of their laptop or like a screenshot of some music they're listening to, or like
a pineapple.
Yes. Why always pineapples? Always that is so true. Or like, yeah, like a swimming pool. Okay, I'm telling you right now, that needs to stop immediately. So unless you're trying to build your personal brand all around like pineapples, like, like if you own a business that sources the best pineapples in the world and that's what you do, then fine. But like if you're an entrepreneur and if your business isn't, let's just say you're not a VA, or let's just say you're not like a content creator, then stop posting pictures of like your laptop and your notebook and all these things. Like if your area of expertise, like it's important to kind of show like how, I don't really know how to put this into words, but like sometimes you see those pages where they always post a photo of a laptop and then there's like a notebook and it's just like
a latte or whatever. Yeah, I get it.
Well, yeah, like that type of thing. I mean, I don't know. It's often like VAs that do that, like so virtual assistants or people who are whatever, like copywriters. Fine, kind of. But I would still say post photos of yourself. Now, you don't need to have the most amazing camera in the world. I take the majority of my photos literally just on my iPhone. I've got an iPhone X. It's got an amazing camera. Like it's perfect. Portrait mode is great.
Amazing.
my boyfriend takes my photos for me. You know, if you don't have a partner who'll do that for you, then ask one of your friends or collaborate with someone who's also trying to do this. If you literally don't know anyone in your area who'll do that, then fine, go get a photographer for half a day, get them to take tons of photos, bring loads of outfits, or just do something that's even more simple. If you're on a budget, go out, get like one of those iPhone tripod things and just rest it somewhere, and just put the self timer on. Some of my greatest photos have been self timer. You can also take selfies in the mirror. Like, you're gonna have to get uncomfortable though, because like, I know at the beginning doing it's really hard. I was never one of those people who like having my photos taken. I would always hide from the camera. Like, that was literally me probably about 4 years ago. My Instagram actually started with me posting about healthy food, funnily enough.
Yeah.
And so here we are today. But that's because the reason I posted the food is because I didn't want to be the one who was in the photo.
Yeah.
So you just have to do it. And as you start doing it, people will get to know you. They'll be able to connect with you. And then like, so with regards to your question, like what do I recommend? I don't know. I mean, I think that I personally don't even use Canva like anymore. I literally just, to edit my photos on Instagram, I use this thing called Facetune. I also use Snapseed, and something though that I think is even better is Lightroom. Like, Lightroom is really good. Yeah, my team member uses Lightroom, and it's super, super good. And you can create like photo presets, so you can create your own filters so that all your photos match up. So that's something that we're currently just working on internally right now. Some presets for all of my photos so all my photos match up. But again, this isn't necessary at the beginning. Like, this is like putting the chimney on top of the house, when like you need to get the foundations done first, and the foundations are actually like decent photos, but more importantly, like making sure that your message is clear. It's clear that you know who you're helping, what you're helping them with, how you're helping them. Like, we didn't even talk about creating a product, because like, you know, you need to have a product that you're selling to them in order to help them overcome their problem. But yeah, all of this stuff's important. And I think that so often people try to focus on the fine touches before they nail the basics and the foundations. And so if you're listening to this right now, I think that you just need to get real with yourself. Like, are you being one of these people who's trying to focus on being perfect at everything and get all the little fine touches done? Because if you are, it's likely that you're procrastinating and you're delaying doing something that's actually going to move your business forward. I think so often we focus on these things because we don't want to actually do the hard work.
And what I love what you said about a minute ago, and because you're in this place in your life where you're just so like, you can easily transition into vulnerability. You're just authentic. That's just who you have become. But you said something that was really important, and I want to grab that piece and really highlight it here. And that was like, you said you just have to do it. When you were talking about posting pictures of yourself, you said you just have to do it. And I want to add something to the end of that. If your business is about you, it's like, it's over. Like, cancel all your subscriptions. Your business is not about you. It's about what you're serving, what your service is. And so you need to get uncomfortable. And if posting pictures of your beautiful face makes you uncomfortable, guess what? It's not about you. Get your face on your Instagram. This is about what you get to be for others. This is about who you get to serve and impact the world, right?
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. I think that honestly, like, it is genuinely like it's been said so many times, but it is your duty to put your message out there, to share this value with these people, because if you don't do it, then you're literally preventing people from being helped. Like, every day that you don't post, you are causing one other person or like tons of other people to continue on with that particular struggle. So you've been through something, you have literally got through the other side of it. So what was that journey like? What was the strategy that you used to get from where you once were to where you are today? Whatever it is, it can be in anything. That's what you need to share. That's what you need to put out there. And if posting a photo of yourself is the thing that you need to do in order to get that done, then you're going to have to just be brave and do it. Like, exactly. I know that it's tons of people who are listening to this right now aren't going to do it, which is really unfortunate. But those who actually go and take action and do this right now, they're the ones who are going to have the long-term success in business.
And
So,
here's why. This is what my business coach says, Lauren. And she actually mentioned this at a sales retreat I was just at with her. And it's so freaking true. We've got like 2 years before 30% of the jobs go to robots. 2 years. Like there's going to come a time way faster than any of us even realize that money's not even a thing, and that our connection with human beings is our currency. It's going to be like, okay, who are the robots? Because there are the human beings that will turn into the robots. We're already seeing it. We're already seeing it. It's like you walk down, you walk anywhere, you walk into an elevator and everybody's this. Guess what? You're a freaking robot. Okay, you are being controlled by this, and I am one of them. But here's what my commitment to this world is. I'm not going to turn into a robot. I'm going to be a connector. And like, you don't, like, it's one or the other. Like, you're either going to be a human being that creates connection, or you're going to be a human being that's a robot. And people are going to be desperately starved for this connection. And you're going to be that for them.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, I think that honestly, I think it's funny because you say it like, you know, you're going to become a robot, but it's crazy because I think that so many people already are. They're just a cog in a machine. You know, if you're doing tasks for a company every single day that you don't enjoy, you don't feel fulfillment in it, like you are literally a cog in a machine. And it's so easy to become that because it becomes a simple life, right? Like being an entrepreneur is hard. Like it is really bloody hard.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like you're going to have to do the things that are difficult in order to last with this. And I think there's no better time than now. And so I would just love it if people could finally just step into their truest potential.
Yeah.
It's again a cliche, but I think it's a cliche for a reason. Like I think that if people don't take action right now, then it just shows that they're the type of people that aren't actually built for this. And I think that those who are listening to this right now obviously are built for this.
You're built for this. You're built for this.
Yeah, they wouldn't be tuning in otherwise. And so yeah, it's going to be hard the first few times. It's like anything. The first time you tried to ride a bike, it was so hard. It was such a challenge. But then you did it a couple more times. You fell, you cut your knee and it hurt, right? It really hurt. It was painful. But then you got back on and you kept at it again and you kept pushing forward. And it's just the same in anything in business. Like it always happens. I have hurdles every single day in my business. But the cool thing is, like, if you don't have things that are going to challenge you, then you're never going to grow, you're never going to evolve, and you're never going to become better. And I don't know about you, but I want to become the best version of myself that I can be in life and business, because it just means that, what's that saying? Like, if you're not growing, you're dying. It's so true. It is so true. So get out there, like, put yourself out there, just share your message, but make sure that you're just consistently showing up, adding value, because that's going to position you as someone who is an expert and someone who like a key person of influence within your industry, because you want to become that key person of influence both within your niche and in the long term within your industry, because when that happens, then you're irreplaceable and robots will not be able to take that away from you.
100%. That's one thing robots will never, ever have. And that is our heart and our soul and our ability to connect. So I want to bring it back to business before we go, and the offer, right? Your offer is so important, or your product or your services. So in my coaching side, you know, I have a few offers. I have 3 offers. And one of my main ideal offers is I bring in a woman with an itch and we create a new mind, a new business, and a new her. Right? That's what I do. So with that said, I love your 3 steps to making AK and to scaling your business. Do you go over that in your workshop? How, like your offer?
Exactly. Yeah. Because I think that so often, like we said, people focus on trying to get like those fine touches done before they actually focus on nailing the fundamentals. And in order to get to 8K per month, I know to a lot of people right now, that sounds like super scary and super overwhelming, like that amount of money, but it doesn't need to be as hard as you think. Once you nail these 3 things, then honestly, like you're going to be absolutely set. And so obviously, you know, then there comes time, and it might not happen overnight and it might not happen in the first month. But with these 3 things, I really don't think people can go wrong.
Okay, so it's called 3 Steps to Scaling to $8,000 or £8,000 or wherever you're watching
8K
per
plus
month.
per month. Yeah. Plus
8K.
8K
Okay.
plus.
All right. So now is do you mind giving that away to our guests?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, of course. They can
Okay,
have it.
awesome. So we'll put that down here.
Yeah.
That's for you from Lauren. Thank you, Lauren. 3
Yeah.
steps to scaling to 8K a month. Now, some of you are already scaling, maybe you're doing 50,000 a month, right? Maybe you're there. Go back to the basics and see what you're missing, because trust me, if you're doing 50,000 a month, you can do 100,000 a month. It's 50%,
Oh yeah. Oh my
right?
gosh, so true. Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
think that's actually so true, because I think so often people put like a cap and they're like, "Oh my God, I've just hit my first 50K month. Like, oh, now I need to beat it, and now I need to get like the next best messenger bot in order to make it happen." But it's like, no, fine tune your offer. Like, let's nail your offer. Let's nail these basic fundamentals, and let's really like get back in touch with who you're speaking to, making sure that every message is touching that type of person and getting in front of them. And yeah, I mean, it's crazy what can happen. I think, yeah, it's insane. I think I honestly have definitely been guilty of this. Like, probably about 4 months ago, I was focusing on too high level things, and because I was putting my focus on the high level things, I actually lost touch with like the foundations. And
Yeah.
then that's when I
The
realized, oh my
basics.
God, no, I need to go back. I need to keep the foundations while adding the higher level things on top. Like, it can't be a thing where when you go to the high level stuff, you take away from the lower level stuff. No, it needs to be like an addition, because the lower level
Exactly.
stuff you can never lose sight of that, because otherwise you're going to just crumble.
Exactly. And another, just before we go, there's stigmas around offers, and I'm sure your workshop goes over this, but it's like some people get stuck around the money thing, like asking for money for their services. And I just want to say, if that's you watching this episode right now, you are doing a disservice to your community, to the world, by not having an offer. The money that happens in between, like when someone pays me $25,000 to work with me, it's like that exchange is not, there's no emotion attached to that exchange. That's just the energy that you get to have to show up for. Like when you pay $25,000 to hire a coach, or that coach just gives you their services, who are you going to show up for? $25,000 that you just spent, or the free whatever? You probably won't even end up on the call. And if you do, you won't take it in, right?
It's true, yeah. I mean, it's crazy. Like, for example, tons of people probably won't watch the workshop just because it's free. They're going to be like, oh, whatever. But if they'd have paid, like, they fully commit to it and they fully actually like take action on it. So hopefully the people listening to this aren't like that. But one more thing is like, yeah, I think money is just simply like a byproduct of value. Like, that's it really. Like, if your offer is like, let's say it's 10K, and then, someone invests in it and they earn 10K back and more,
Mhm.
that's amazing. Like, that's how it should be. And so, yeah, like, your offer basically just needs to be, your audience needs to value it more than they value their money. That's as simple as it is, really.
Totally. Man, you have been so awesome, Lauren. You are such a wealth of information. Okay. Follow her on Instagram at Lauren Tickner. And then you also have the at Impact School, which we didn't get to talk about today, but follow at Impact School on Instagram as well. It's essentially everything that we talked about today and plus more. So Lauren, I don't want to take any more of your time. Thank you so much for being on the Smart Woman Show. And
Thank
let
you.
me know how I can support you, serve you, anything moving forward.
Yeah, no, you too. I'm delighted that we got to connect, even though we're like way over the other side of the world. I absolutely love California, so I'm pretty envious of you right now in the freezing cold here in England. But with that said, yeah, I'm delighted that we've connected, and we definitely need to stay in touch. That's for sure. And I hope that your audiences love this today. I hope we shared a lot of value with them, and they go implement, like, go take action.
Action. Like,
Yes.
go back. If you're getting to this point in the interview and you're like, okay, well, that was great. Like, go back and rewatch this and write down what you're going to do as soon as it ends again. You know what I mean?
Yes,
Like, there was so
absolutely.
many things to take action on in this video. Like,
Yeah.
if you're just breezing by this right now, you're missing the whole point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They gotta be present, and they gotta do it. Just do it.
Just do it. Just do it. I love you, Lauren. Have an awesome day.
Thank you so much. This is great. Thank you. Bye.
Bye, sweetie.